On today's episode of Wellness on the Rocks, I sit down with a great member of San Diego's hospitality scene. My guest has been in the industry here for over a decade. He came up working for Consortium Holdings, one of the most influential restaurant groups in San Diego. They own and operate more than 20 different bar and restaurant concepts here in the city. And depending who you ask, people either love them or they hate them. So we get into that today in our conversation. We talk about the lessons you learn and the mistakes you make when you start and try to run your own program. It's a real thing. We get into Yelp culture, bartending philosophy, whether a Long Island iced tea is actually a cocktail, and the state of San Diego bar industry as a whole. And during this episode today, I end up telling a story that happened to me recently, where I chased down a serial dine and dasher through the Gaslamp district here in San Diego and had this person put in handcuffs. It's a real story. It's a real thing. And I tell from start to finish what happens. He's been hitting bars all over the city here in San Diego. And you know what? Ran into the wrong bartender. So we get into that story. Not going to take away from my guest. He is an incredibly knowledgeable, thoughtful, and, great guy. I'm so pumped that I was able to sit down with him and, pick his brain and talk about what he's trying to aim for and the direction he's trying to go in. And, it's a great episode. It's really, really awesome conversation. He started out working security for Henry's and worked his way up through the ranks and ended up becoming the former general manager of Dorado. He has seen this industry from so many different angles. Welcome to Wellness on the Rocks from Carnitas Snack Shack in Hasta Mañana, Reese Honse.
This is good.
I can't imagine here, dude. Let's go headphones. So yeah, that's going to be on your left. And boom, that sounds good. You sound good. That's like reality show stuff, dude.
Yeah.
Doing a fucking debate show at the bar. What would that be like? Tuesday night debates? What was the name you were going to use for that?
Town hall meetings.
Uptown hall meetings at Dorado, dude. I can't that's too funny. Well, that's like what I do for a living anyways. So I guess if you can like control it or contain it,
I don't know. It's just back then I was reaching for events.
Yeah, you got to get creative, man.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing here on the podcast today is fucking trying to be creative in the hospitality industry. And dude, let me tell you, creativity for me was a weird ass thing because I don't know, it's kind of, you were just talking earlier about how like sometimes we like just blindly follow the rules.
Yeah.
And like for better or worse at our jobs, like this is the way it is. I'm going to do this way. I'm not going to think for myself. I was told to do this way. So therefore this is what we do. And as you get older, you start to question things.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like...
Are you starting it?
It is recording. Okay. But we haven't officially started yet. We can if you like.
No, just it's easier probably just to talk about shit and then go into it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I do these things. But like, no, dude, I think like as you get older, you do start to like question things,
Yeah.
And, I'm in my mid-30s, you're in your late 30s. We're both been in this industry for our careers. And it's like we're trying to like look to the future for like what do we do with our careers, man? And there is so I thought like, doing a podcast and talking to people about their experience in the industry is like kind of a fucking cool little unique thing. And that's why I brought you on today, dude, because I feel like, bro, you do have this like you've been around the block in the industry here in San Diego. And oftentimes, dude, at the bar, the loudest guys that we see running around are the people who sometimes don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yes.
And the loudest guy in the room is sometimes like the weakest guy in the room. And I feel like you're kind of like this like quiet, super like knowledgeable, experienced person with wisdom who comes around and is just like super kind, super generous, gets their shit done at the bar. And that's sort of like one of the experiences. That's what I see at least. Yeah. So I appreciate you, bro. Here's a little Tito shot.
Thank you, buddy.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for coming on the pod.
Yeah.
Reese. It's so funny, man. Just fucking Tito's neat, dude. That's wild. So I was at work last night and Zach was like, dude, the people who order shots of vodka, you know what I want to say to them? Are you okay? Like, is something wrong?
Yeah.
Where did the Tito's, when did you start doing that?
Nicole.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Cause it's more of like when she was at Henry's, she would do, Rumplemans.
Okay.
And that's nothing to fuck with. So it's like, so it went from being like,
Pivot a little bit.
Yeah, let's do like 3 shots of rumpies and feel real buzzed, or switch to chilled vodka.
Bro.
But it's also like, I don't think a lot of people take shots for the taste.
That's true. Just down the hatch.
I mean, I ordered Jack so much that it's just because it's there, it's easy. But I don't I'm not a huge fan of banana. You know?
Dude, somebody at the bar yesterday literally came in and said, can I have a well gin neat with a pickleback on the side?
Yeah.
And I was like, nobody's ever asked me that for my entire life.
Yeah. I mean, I respect a gin shot more than a vodka shot.
Really?
Yeah. Gin is juniper flavored vodka, basically.
That's very true. I'm not a really spirits guy. I don't know that stuff. Dude, I'm just Jameson, just right to the point. I don't know. I've done so many Jameson shots over the years that just like, but, so dude, you have this, you have a cool story here in the industry, and I can sum it up real quick and you can go into it. But, from my understanding, you're now a Carnitas Snack Check,
Yeah.
which is a really cool, what would you describe that as?
Tacos by the water.
Tacos by the water. But you were at you were the GM of El Dorado for a bunch of years.
Like 4.
4 years. With Consortium Holdings, and you kind of saw that come up, and you're a regular at Stout. And you and your wife Nicole come into the bar, great regulars, great people. And I just wanted to pick your brain today to talk to you about, some of your ideas. Because one of the conversations that we had over the years is like, you're coming up with ideas, you're trying to grow and do some things. So, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, dude.
I appreciate you, dude.
For sure.
How did you get into, what was the start that got you in the door at El Dorado? Like, can you kind of just talk to me about your like experience getting into the hospitality industry at, here in San Diego?
Well, so we call ourselves the 4 brothers. One of them who's now passed away, Pigeon, RIP. But, so he was a bouncer downtown at Henry's, and Henry's was like kind of the start of Consortium in a small way. Like
Henry's
Arsalan was doing his own thing, and then what they were doing over at Henry's was what they adopted and brought over to El Dorado, basically. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so all the guys, they were from Spokane.
Okay.
And they were basically doing the entertainment behind the bar while bartending.
You said the entertainment behind the bar. What do you mean by that?
So, this is from what I heard, because this is probably 10 years before I was actually there.
Okay.
So one of my mentors, Ryan Kuntz, he was bartending, and then the other 2 owners of El Dorado bartended there too. Well, There's 3. They're all 3 brothers, and then Kuntz.
This was at Henry's?
Yeah, they did this at Henry's.
Oh, so
when they first moved here.
The owners of El Dorado came up through Henry's?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So their thing was they wanted like kind of full autonomy of the party. They wanted to control everything in the party. They wanted to control the music, shots behind the bar, all that stuff. Yeah. So
I know that feeling, dude.
Yeah. So they did that. Eventually brought it over to El Dorado. But my buddy Pigeon that worked there, we all worked at Papa John's together. He wanted me to get out of delivering pizzas, so he brought me to bounce over at Henry's.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's an interesting switch.
It was actually really fucking cool, because like it was a jungle, like when I first got downtown. Like I wasn't into the nightlife scene. I didn't start drinking until I was 25.
Really?
Yeah. So
I beat you by like fucking 12 years.
I think everybody did. Like everybody did. But so I started bouncing over at Henry's, and then my buddy Pigeon, he worked at El Dorado. So, and then my other buddy Esteban, that's where I met him. He was bartending there. And then, have you ever heard of the Guinness key?
No, what's that?
It was this stupid little prank that they play on people. But, so essentially a bartender comes out, because security, we were changing kegs and doing other shit too. But he came out and they were like, oh, we lost our Guinness key. Can you go around and go find the Guinness key? So we went over. You just basically, it's a reason for you to go out as a newbie and look for this thing that doesn't exist.
Okay, yeah, like a intern or a pledge or something like that to the bar. Yeah.
But I knew what it was. It was dumb as fuck. But because we did the same thing over at Papa John's, we had a dough repair kit where, like, if dough ripped, like you needed a repair kit for it, but it was just water.
Interesting.
So it was just stupid.
Bro, that's so wild. So you not drinking until 25. Were you? So you're an athlete. You work out. You take care of yourself pretty well. What were you like for social life and for your downtime up until 25? Like, what were you doing?
Being awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Huh.
I love Starbucks for that reason. Like, I would always go to a Starbucks and just listen to music and draw and like study and do shit when I was actually in school.
Nice.
Yeah. So I was actually very socially awkward. Yeah. For a while. It was like, if I'm at a party in a small setting, I'm cool. But if I was out in public, Pigeon also called me Wallflower. So he'd call me Flower just because I'd hide in a corner.
Interesting. Where did you grow up here in San Diego or?
Yeah. East County.
East County. Okay.
Not like East County, but like the Grossmont area.
Cool, man. Dude, there's a lot of us who are in the industries who are like artists, creators, drawers, painters. Dude, I feel like way more often than not, so many people who are in our industry are artists in some way, fashion, or form.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think so. Like, I can't tell you how many people I'm friends with on Instagram that have like art all over their page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was super like I got into photography.
Yeah.
I was a terrible drawer, dude. I have like super bad ADHD. So like my brain's just all over the place.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So I was an athlete growing up. I played sports and stuff like that. I played like rugby in my mid-20s and stuff. You do get to a point though where your body, where I'm just like, you're not going to go pro. You're not going to play Division I sports. So I think when I was around 25 when I stopped playing sports.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have a team, I didn't have a club, I didn't have anything, and your brain just doesn't know what to do, dude. Yeah. So what happened to me is I started drinking more and gambling a lot on sports, which is not a good, healthy outlet.
Nope.
But what I found to replace that, whatever happens to our brain with that competitiveness, is like creativity.
Yeah.
And so I kind of got a little bit into photography, and I was like slowly trying to find the podcasting. The podcasting thing by yourself is really challenging. I'm slowly getting better at it with my really awkward self-reflection videos that I put out on my social media that are like make me look like a total fucking wacko. But anyways, everybody has different forms of creativity and that we use. And like, I think that's one of the big pillars of Wellness on the Rocks is like mental health in the hospitality industry. And like, how do we grow creatively, professionally with our jobs, physically and mentally?
Yeah.
So I just like to I just think it's like something that people don't really talk about as much.
I can see that. You can see like the logistical people or people who are good with, I don't know, the people that actually were good in college. I don't know if you finished a 4-year institution or not, but you kind of lean towards the things that you are good at. And if you are artistic, I don't know if they always go hand in hand, but if you are artistic, I don't think you're the person that likes to sit down and be very rigid.
Yeah, dude. That's why working behind a bar, it's like, it's good for us because we're just like we're moving all the time.
Yeah. And you're facing so many different personalities.
Yeah.
You're having to adapt. You're having to compartmentalize and just do a bunch of just for the interaction with this one person for 2 rounds.
Yeah, it's constant like flexibility and improvisational skills.
Yes.
Like you gotta,
But even during the like super awkward things where you can't improv it, it's even funnier when you just like you can't come up with a solution. So you look at them and you're like, that's weird. Like you just did a weird thing, and
you just accept it.
Yeah. And then a lot of, because people who are at bars, especially people that, I won't generalize, but I guess, what I've experienced is they're a little socially awkward. Yeah.
We're the third space for people to come and just let some weird shit out.
Yeah.
And,
I invite it because I don't get offended by shit. So it's very, very hard to find a way to offend me.
Really?
Oh yeah. Not like
super easy
race, politics, religion. I don't really care.
No, but in terms of like the improv band, bro, we were just talking earlier about how like touching tables and how, you're at Hasta Mañana and you're also at Carnita Snack Shack, two Carnitas Night Jack, by the way, I went to visit the other day. That place is beautiful. Well, what an awesome
No,
place
it's
to
cool.
work.
I always tell people I'm retired.
Seriously, dude.
It is not a job. Like, essentially bartending is just like being a glorified barista.
Well, sometimes. Depends where you're at.
Well, but you're customer facing. Like baristas, they can put their head down and just make whatever.
Yeah.
But we're actually doing it while we're talking to people and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, once you get the recipes in your head, you're not worried about any of that. So being by the water, like you talk about, I mean, Carnitas is its like own little thing because you're close enough to the airport to get a lot of tourism, but you're also close enough to the condos to where you have your regulars.
Yeah.
So it's this really cool blend down there.
And it was cool, man, because you work with your wife, Nicole.
Yeah.
And it was kind of cool just like watching you guys just like rip behind a bar together. You're super comfortable. You guys are a great team back there. You both got your sunglasses on. You're making margaritas. You're talking to people. It's like, it's a cool place to hang out and have a drink.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny that you say that. Like you won't believe how many people have come to the bar and been like, I can't believe you can work with your spouse.
That's true. I think that way too, but
well, I know, but like
you and Nicole have good, I mean, I don't know. Seems like you guys have figured that out.
It took a while, but I've always been sarcastic. She's always been playful. Like we've definitely had our dark times, like most relationships, but like one thing that we've always been good at is culturing like a good time, you know, and then she doesn't take shit too seriously. I don't take shit seriously. So even like there actually hasn't been one day that we've gone to work together in the past since last May that we were actually mad at each other from the night before. It's a weird, because I would assume like that's something that but we've worked together before at other spots. But I assumed like, what if we got into a fight the night before? How are we going to act at work? It just never came through.
Well, you guys are mature adults.
Yeah.
Unlike the most of us, myself included.
No, I'm not. I'm not mature.
Well, I mean, I've worked with girls I've dated, and it can, I see that it can get a little icky at times when people are doing shots, and some guys flirting with her, and then part of her job is to be hospitable and flirt with him back, and like it can, I've seen that happen a little bit, but I don't know. As long as like I've always like if you're dating somebody, if you lead with respect, then it can work. Yeah. But when you're petty and there's breakups and exes are coming through and guys have egos, that's when shit kind of goes off the fan a little bit,
I mean, she's like, you can ask anyone. She's kind of a badass, like on her own scale. Like she can go back and forth with anyone, but the second she feels uncomfortable, she'll call you out. And not a lot of people do that.
It's tough, dude, especially for women. It's tough to do that.
Oh yeah. But hers, it's like, it's almost like if I'm hearing her call you out, I know she's right. Because
well, she has a really good attitude and she's really good character. So you don't ever have to question. I feel like, I don't know. I would never like question it. Be like, really? Did that really happen?
No, she's got a really healthy fear of authority, and she has respect for hierarchy, and especially in the workplace. So she won't let anything get involved unless it was inappropriate.
Well, dude, the fact that you guys have been able to work together and made that relationship work, dude, cheers, because that's fucking, you don't see that too often. Dating in the industry is goddamn tough. Yeah. Bro, there's so many things that we can get into today. Let's see, man. We were just talking about you before you got behind the bar. You said you were bouncing in the gas lamp on Fifth Ave. Was that at Henry's when you started bouncing?
Yeah.
And why did you get into that job? Like, what led you to Henry's bouncing on?
It was my buddy Pigeon.
Okay.
But it was, he liked it. I saw his growth in the industry. He was always, he's a confident dude, but I think he always wanted to be kind of in the party scene too. We had these group of dudes, we called them the elders, that we looked up to. One of them was a bouncer at Stout, and then he was a bouncer at Henry's.
Bouncer at Stout?
No, not Stout. Shout House.
Shout House. Okay.
Shout Stout.
You're not the first. You're not the last.
Yeah. So I think Pigeon wanted to follow him.
Okay.
Followed him. Loved it. Bought into it. And then he was like, "Dude, I think you'd be good." And then he brought me downtown, and like, I didn't like it at first.
Okay.
Just because it's like your first time seeing gypsies, like seeing bartenders and seeing like cocktail waitresses and all this other shit. You're just like, this is not the place I want to be.
Yeah.
Even though they're costumes, you know what I mean? Not everybody that wears a miniskirt at a bar while they're cocktailing wears that at home. You know what I mean? It's just like the show that was put on at Henry's, it wasn't a true representation of who the people were. But when I went there, that's my first brush with it. So it was foreign as hell. So yeah, that's what Pigeon got me in there. And then the relationships that I made afterwards kept me there.
Yo, what do you think about like where the San Diego hospitality scene is? Specifically, you and I both work in the Gaslamp district or in the surrounding areas. I moved to San Diego after COVID, so I don't really know what any of that was like pre-2021, 2022. Bars are closing left and right.
Yeah.
It's hard to sustain small businesses and run a profit and have, I think I saw some article, there was like 70 bars, 70 small businesses closed in San Diego last year.
Yeah.
Like, what do you like, do you think it's sustainable to run a small business in today's culture? Like, I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on like the direction and what's going on?
I mean, San Diego, they're just pricing everybody out. It's like, it's the chorus line now. Where, I mean, pre-COVID, I can't put my finger on exactly what minimum wage was, but I want to say it was between $9 and $11. So I mean, you can employ twice as many people for what you get now. Like, so like you're having the bodies to be able to throw parties and have security. You're able to afford a bar back and you're, you know, they had a cap on what they can spend on GMs. Like they had I think a salary cap when I was running El Dorado was like $40,000 or something.
40,000?
Or not cap, but minimum.
On a manager? On a
GM.
On a
so there's a salary minimum, or at least that's what I was told.
Yeah.
I might have been lied to, but I also didn't give a shit because I was making tips too.
Okay.
So if you can pay your GM $40,000, you can afford more employees. And especially if they're getting supplemental income like through tips.
Yeah.
So that's what I was doing. Because I was relying on my tips, not my paycheck. But I don't think it's sustainable now because the prices that you have to come up with compared to the staff that you have to make the ambiance, the experience good, they don't offset, and it's not good enough in the profit direction. Like, you know what I mean?
It's tough, dude. Yeah, I do.
Like, I haven't had to come up with words for that particular scenario, but you're not going to make enough money to cover the staff that you have to have on, in my opinion. Like, unless you have this poppin' ass spot. Unless
you have a great idea.
Yeah, and great idea, awesome location.
Yeah, location, yeah.
The thing with El Dorado was it was off the beaten path. So if you were going there, you knew you were going to go there.
It's a destination
spot, for sure. And like, we ran bare minimum staff. We had a door guy, and then ABC would come and mess with us. Like, oh, you needed one door guy per 50 people, not the dude out front. They needed to be certified. Yeah. You couldn't be certified and bartend at the same time because we were trying to find ways around it all the time. So
the city's sort of making it more challenging for small businesses a little bit. You could kind of, you know.
I mean, 1,000%.
Yeah. Yo, man. Okay, so El Dorado, for those who don't know, that was Consortium Holdings, or that was purchased by Consortium Holdings, or?
No. So from what I know, it was Neighborhood. Neighborhood was doing craft beer.
Yeah, Neighborhood's it's the first bar that Consortium Holdings started.
Right, and then working over at Henry's, like I said, the guys from Spokane, they broke off, bought, it used to be called Hong Kong, I think.
Whoa, I don't know anything about that, bro.
Yeah, I think that's what it was called, Hong Kong Club. And they bought it, I don't know the amount, but they started doing craft cocktails. So they started throwing parties, doing craft cocktails. And from that, what I understand, they met up with the CH owner, at the time, or the Neighborhood owner, and then they started Noble Experiment.
What year are we talking here, roughly?
I want to say 08.
Oh, 08. Okay, got you.
That's my guess. Nobody's asked me the year before.
Or like, we're talking 20 years, like that's like about 18 years ago.
Ugh, yeah.
Okay, somewhere around there. It doesn't matter, bro. Like, these aren't specifics. I just think that like you've worked with the Consortium Holding people. you kind of came up with them. And for those who don't know, Consortium Holdings is like one of the biggest restaurant conglomerates here in San Diego. They have 20 plus restaurants and bars, and they have mixed reviews from the entire city. And I've been sort of critical of them on my podcast over the episodes, a little bit, nothing serious, because I think whether it's true or not, the rap that some people like to say is that they are very nice spaces with that lack quality food or service. Now that's what the critics will say.
Right. And
so you've come up with them, and just through conversations with you and stuff like that, like some of it's true, some of it's not. And I don't know. I think that like it depends who you are and when you and where you go, and I've had good experiences at some of those places, and sometimes I walk into a place and I'll say, hey, can I have a Jameson on the rocks? And 9 minutes later, they'll give it to me and it'll be a $19 tab. Yeah. And I'm like, why am I doing this? Right. But I want to hear your opinion. Right. My opinion, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, is like, this is what we talk about at the bars. I work at the neighborhood bar, Step Public House. It's a lot of industry. We're talking everything through the industry. And it's like, dude, I don't think Consortium Holdings plays to guys like you and me who are in the industry. They're playing towards the people who are coming into San Diego and the tourists and the people who want to spend money and go out and have a good time and want to take industry and take photos and put it on their social media, and that can afford $19 Jameson shots and don't really care about the conversational aspect that you and me get into at the industry bars. Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I think that like a lot of maybe like people, we kind of do the industry thing, you and me, like that's where we go drink. Yeah. And like I don't necessarily think they're playing towards us. And there's nothing fun, and that's totally fine, dude. Yeah. And it's like from a business perspective, like what do you think about anything that I've just said?
It's different. I think they do appeal to a fatter pocket for sure. And I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to bring in tourism and everything else, but it's also the quality of service that you get in a place kind of depends on the volume of people that come in. So when I look at Consortium, they're just constantly bringing people in, like through, I think Paul Basil, I don't know if he's still part of them, but his design concepts were really, really pretty.
He's an incredible designer. Yeah.
So, I mean, I do think that they have a higher quality product, but it's almost like kind of like short playing them by blaming the product, because it's also like, what kind of employee are we hiring? They expanded so quickly. They had to, from what I've seen, they started opening multiple spots, and then it was hiring out of necessity, not out of quality, but they also trusted in what they were putting out so much. Like, and they also had Anthony Schmidt, fucking whiz kid, man, like cocktail guru. He's one of the forefathers in my eyes of cocktails in San Diego. And I've never seen anything but passion come out of that dude. Yeah. When he's talking to kids who don't know anything about cocktails, he's so demonstrative. He's just like, okay, you got to do this, you got to do that. And even at one point, like when I first took on El Dorado, I think he wanted the quality to remain the same, and I was a rookie. And I was drinking JMO and Bud Lights with the elders that I was talking about earlier, and I didn't know what the Pappy line was or anything about spirits. So I got under his wing. We'd have like private little meetings like at the office, where just hearing him talk about spirits was like it made you want to get on his level.
So I'm sorry, you worked under this guy?
He was the beverage director of Consortium. And
where were you at this point?
I was at El Dorado. Because I was just taking it over, because I was a bouncer there. Yeah. And then everybody jumped ship because the place was changing concepts. They were trying to turn it into a neighborhood bar, which...
Why do they jump ship at that, bro? I would jump onto that goddamn ship.
No, because I understand why people would leave, because they were used to these big parties, because El Dorado threw parties. And you'd circulate 500-600 people through those parties, and you'd have fun while you're doing it. You're making craft cocktails, you're doing stuff, and you're walking away with $400 a night. Okay,
so that's a system you know.
Yeah, and then you switch it to wanting to become a neighborhood bar, and then your sales go from $10,000 a night to $1,200 a night, and you're a bartender that's used to freeing up your Friday nights and Saturday nights for hopefully $300 to $400, and you end up splitting $200 total between 4 people.
Yeah. Well, you got to, I mean, dude, look, I work at a South's neighborhood bar.
Yeah.
I've done the nightclub thing in New York City. We were open till 4 a.m. Crazy DJ music, blah, blah, blah. Vodka soda, 1,000 of them a night.
Yeah.
Bro, the neighborhood bars are good spots.
No, they are, but it's hard to change from what you were. Because
I understand that. I got you.
Yeah, if I said El Dorado, nobody's thinking of the old El Dorado, like the latest version of it where there's a pool table.
Yeah.
They originally had a pool table, but the pool table would turn, they would move it, and that would become the DJ booth. So the parties that they were throwing, I think Dylan Francis played there.
Oh, wow.
Like I had, with like one of my DJs, he helped me book Talib Kweli there. There was...
Wow, you had like real names coming through there.
There's a lot of people that went there. Yeah.
Dude.
But it's like to go from that to trying to change to a neighborhood bar, it's a losing battle. Like I saw them trying to change, and then it was one of the better things for my industry career because I stuck it out because I was just a bouncer. And then Kuntz was like, let me teach you how to bartend. And being taught by somebody he's one of the other people that I would consider one of the forefathers of cocktails. But his brand was different. So like the whole forefather conversation it's a different beast. But him on his own, he had his own character. Like he was different, but he knew his shit. So learning from him, I was like, hell yeah. So I stuck it out, and then they saw the decline in business. So they wanted to slowly try to change it. So we did bring some entertainment back.
Okay.
And it started working. So it was like the booths, they moved from the south side of the bar to the north side of the bar, which was where the dance floor was. And then when we started slowly bringing back entertainment, it slowly started making its way back south to make the dance floor bigger. So finally we moved it back to where they were, and then we leaned back into what it was.
Okay.
And then that's what brought back the big party nights.
So dude, you've had a lot of experience, I mean, at a bunch of different places. Would you ever want to open your own bar?
Not in San Diego.
Okay.
Or it's got to be under really cool circumstances. Like I would open up a bar with people that I know, people that I can trust, like that kind of came up through the same programs, and owner operators.
Why is that, bro? Why is that important to that right there? Like,
well, just because we're going to be bartending. Like owners are bartending
in California in 2026. That's what you have to do to make a bar that survives.
I mean, yeah. And then to ensure that your standard operating procedures are fluid.
But I think what I was like, dude, I think the trust thing is super important.
Oh, 100%.
I think that like the places that I see that last have staff, coworkers, bosses, employees that have spent years with each other, and there's trust. And the reason I say that, I don't know, man, it's just like there's a lot of fucking people in this industry who talk the talk.
Yeah.
And that walk around and are like, I know what I'm doing. I know this person. I worked at this bar. I can fucking name you 20,000 gin cocktails. But it's like, yeah. I don't know, man. You can't buy trust.
No, I mean, and going back to those forefathers that I was talking about, they didn't have an ego.
Yeah.
The people that they mentored afterwards, they were starting to become this. That's where the star tender was born. Where
we are in the era of the star tender.
Yeah, you started gaining all this knowledge, and you were like, I learned from this cat. I'm like an OG now. And then there was this, I don't know. It was a different type of bartender that I feel like that was like my class if we were to put them in classes. But I also didn't know as much as them because I was coming from like not that background. So I had to keep my mouth shut because I didn't want to sound stupid.
Well, you were learning.
I was learning.
That's an important thing.
Yeah. But also, yeah, but I mean, people would come in and like, they were like, where did you come from? Like, I haven't heard your name. And I was just like,
yeah, who the fuck are you, dude?
Yeah, I was like,
yeah, it's like, I'm fucking Reese, dude. Who the fuck are you?
It wasn't like that. I still take that same position now. I don't have like an ego with anything. Like, I know that some of my regulars, they don't do it on purpose, but they like to poke fun at me so that everybody else is having fun. But I don't give a shit as long as you're having a good time.
Yeah, that's part of the job, dude.
We
got to have a little bit of like humility and like, hey man, we're the clown. Sometimes put the clown nose on.
Yeah,
you know.
But there was times when all the old school cats, they would try to come and like, I'm just taking over the bar. I'm trying to take it really seriously, just because, I mean, it was a very unique circumstance. A place that had business, had like popularity, went down to pretty much nothing, and is trying to climb back. And I could be a part of that with Kuntz, being the GM. So I took it seriously. And then it was just, there was times when these kids, they would come back from wherever other bar they started working at in Consortium, or I think at that point, a lot of them moved on to the Kettner group, would come into the bar and then pretend like it was still their bar. And there was one time one of them kept coming behind the bar, and I was like, dude, you don't work here anymore. Don't come behind the bar.
Hold on. You should never walk behind the bar unless you're fucking clocked in.
Dude, it was like
the people who do shit like that, bro, drives me fucking nuts.
Yeah, no, but it was one of those things where it was like, this isn't, I used to work here and you're new.
Dude, even like you get a soda, even people who walk behind and pour their own soda on the gun, dude. I'm like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
And this is over the years. I'm not talking about right now, like past places I've worked at. Yeah. I'm just like, dude, know your fucking role and where you're at. Who, like, real motherfuckers, bro, don't do that shit. Well, no, and that's what I said earlier when I introduced you. Is like you are like the humble, quiet guy who doesn't do dumb shit like that, and like is like, hey, how are you? It's not like it doesn't cause attention. That's attention drawing behavior.
It's not my house. Like,
yeah,
it's not your house anymore. So I just remember calling him out, and then there was somebody else there. They were sitting at the bar, and I was like, well, he went back a second time. I think I might have to take him outside, like to fucking. And then I remember the kid. He was just like, Reese, you're better than that. And I'm like, better than what? This dude's not listening. Like, sometimes violence.
Respect the fucking house, dude.
Yeah, there is an answer in violence.
That's a dominance thing, bro. That's like I don't give a fuck about this person. Yeah. This is my show.
Yeah. No, it was kind of crazy. And I'm just like, that's when I started to come into my brand, where I was going to be like, okay, I'll sit and I'll learn. And then I want to be the bouncer, but I wasn't going to treat bouncers like I was being treated when I was a bouncer, which you're cleaning up all the mess that all the bartenders made by over-serving people. And it was also at a wet bar when the bartenders were drunk and they're like, get this fucking asshole out of here. And I'm like, well, you got him drunk. I'll take care of it. And then as bouncers, we're dealing with all the shit. Yeah. And then at the end of the night, you're watching them like pour all cash tips on the table, and they're separating cash tips. And then, the bartender's share was like, I'd get like $6 in tips.
Throw you 0.5%. Here's $5.
Which I also said I was never going to take into bartending. Like, I don't, if it's a shitty tip night, I blame it on me. Like, but also like if somebody's leaving, like we used to, obviously when paper receipts were around, I never looked at what they would write down on the receipt because I didn't want to think of the person differently. Yeah. So at the end of the night, I would just be like, dude, if I got 20%, awesome. Because I know what it was like to get shit tip outs for doing worse work.
Bro, what you're talking about is really real, man. And there are some really great restaurants and bars here in San Diego, and there are some places that are kind of fucking mid, and are just like, and it stems from leadership and like starting from the top down, and like, yeah, dude, when these animal houses, bro, it's like everyone wants to be the cool like bar that's like, we do whatever we want here, we fucking give away the bar, I make this much money, but it's like, dude. Like, you do need order, you need professionalism, you need leadership, you need fucking, like, to put your foot down. Yeah. Somebody recently, I overheard somebody, it was a girlfriend of a regular of ours. She was like, oh, Taylor doesn't really, like, have that much fun here. And I'm like, dude, my job is, like, at Stout Public House, Irish bar, one of the best bars. I love my job. I love the customers. You guys are fucking great. It's not about creating cocktails. It's about like building and maintaining relationships with people. Yeah. And like being part of that is making sure there's order in the bar. Yeah. And that's like a fucking skill set, dude. You can have, like I said, 70 gin cocktails in your head, or you can have relationship skills and like, have that aspect. And it's like, yeah, dude, sometimes you gotta be, it's not about being a bully, but it's about like having presence and authority, and like presence in a bar is really fucking important.
Oh yeah.
And like at some of those places where it's a shit show and free for all, and the inmates are running the fucking jail cell. Yeah. It's like, I don't know, man, it gets a little wacky sometimes. It does. And that's when fights happen and there's drama and there's chaos and stuff like that. So you got to find a balance between that shit, bro,
That's more like, back to LD. like that's kind of where I lost control, where partying with your staff,
Yeah.
you lose the ability to call people out. And I just remember there was like one night, like somebody was saying, oh, this person's drunk, whatever. And I was like, okay. So we used to have these nightly meetings, like post-shift meetings where we would go over the night. I talk about sales and then, you know, the goods and the bads. So I actually called somebody out and they didn't like it. I wasn't directed at anyone, but I just said, you know, like, keep your shit together. Like,
that's tough, dude.
But
when
it's
you're
hard.
Part of the circle.
And at the time I didn't realize it, you know, like it wasn't right. I should have been 100% the sober guy there. And I like, you know, towards the end, I was just telling myself that I liked to be there because of how much I enjoyed it when I started. But it's just, you know, that's the first time I really tasted canvas where it was just, fuck, okay, I let it get out of my hands and there's really no recovering from it. And you can't change the fact that you're a party bar. Like a lot of people come in to rip shots with you.
It's a slippery slope, dude.
So at that point, it was just like miserable, gained a bunch of weight, fucking... We were drinking every night at work. It was fun, but not fun. And then it's just, but you know, I needed that time in my life to get to the point that I'm at now. I was never a dick to people, you know, like I was just like, I guess I would say I was lost when it came to managing at that point.
How old were you at this point?
I was like 28.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, this is like 10 years ago.
It was a while ago. Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
bro, that's part of the growing process of going through the restaurant bar industry. But nobody just fucking crushes it at every level. It's like it's a humbling experience.
Yeah, I had like there was all these great ideas that we would do that was awesome for a small team. Like we used to do these compliment waterfalls where at the end of the shift, you like regardless of what the shift was, it was mandatory where we stood in a circle and then you just. Whatever direction you were going in, the person to your left or the person to your right, you had to say something positive.
That's cool, man. That's really cool.
It's really easy with drunk people, but it's it had to be genuine. And then because everyone leans on the negative shit, but so we had that, and then the nightly meetings were good because you didn't have to do some email newsletter about, you know, what needs to be fixed and all that other stuff. But then again, you realize pretty much everybody there is drunk, so nobody's retaining any of the information. So it was. I don't know. It taught me a lot.
Bro, man, I'm just thinking like, dude, yeah, we all go through that shit. And yo, it's not easy.
No. I mean, especially
and you're learning from it.
Yeah.
And 28 years old, you're the general manager of El Dorado, which was, rest in peace, an incredibly popular bar downtown.
Yeah.
And it went through its phases and stuff. And yeah, dude, like what you were just talking about, like when you're drinking and taking shots with everybody and then you got to fucking correct bad behavior. And it's like, that's where that fucking line is. Mm-hmm. And I've worked at bars like that where it's like, it's a balance. I've had a little bit management experience. I've never been the general manager. I've never run a bar, own a bar, but it's like, dude, it's a real thing where you have to have like, it's about like, there are hierarchies. And I feel like so many a lot of places just want like a lack of like, we do whatever we want. We're here. But it's like, no, dude, you need that structure. You do need fucking leadership and hierarchies and like order. Yeah. You do need those things. Yeah. And it takes like responsibility, professionalism, respect, fucking maturity. And it starts at the top. Yeah. You know?
No, it's yeah, dude. And it was cool because we were in control. Like the efforts that we put in, like the results were they were on us. The rewards were fully ours because we were doing the marketing. We were doing the like events. We were doing all the stuff.
That's cool, man.
But it was really cool. But there's so much fucking pressure because you're going against the old El Dorado, which was, I mean, we were not like the old El Dorado for sure. We were different. But it was, I don't know, it still came back in a little bit of a way.
I think like, talk about pressure, it's one thing to keep that ball spinning and to be running these successful bars and programs on the long term is a really challenging thing to do. Yeah. Doing something for having a successful bar for 1 or 2 or 3 years is one thing. Try doing it for 15 to 25 years. Yeah. And I don't know what that's like, bro. I don't want to speak on that, but like, I feel like that sometimes. Like, how long can you keep this up for?
Yeah. I mean, and it's hard with bars, like, especially with the, like, people that actually go out. Like, are they wanting to drink? Do they want to pay cover? Like, and especially downtown with the way things are going with parking and
There's so many factors that come into play.
there's so much hassle with thinking of a night out if you don't live downtown.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, downtown's doing it to itself, but you know, that goes with the consortium issue is they always have people at their bars. So like having the culture and everything else, they can speak on stuff that not a lot of other people can speak on. And, you know, everyone else gets mad at dip sales when their place isn't like populated like it used to be because of the way downtown is, the climate of going out downtown. But Consortium has created its own like theme park style draw.
Literally, bro. It's one thing, one business with low sales. Try having 20 businesses with low sales and trying to pay like 600 plus employees.
Yeah, and it's like
that's like wild.
But it's weird. But with like success comes more scrutiny, and since they're one of the more the most successful company, they get all the scrutiny. And it's like when people say their food sucks, the food was probably good. But they just didn't. They already came in ready to dog them. That's
a good point. Yeah. I think you know what, dude. And look, they got us talking about them on a podcast, so they're fucking winning in some aspects.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Because for me, when I hear people talk shit, it's more like not all of it is hate. They might have had a sour situation that I don't know about or whatever. But that's every place. Every place has like some sour situation where, you know, an employee that doesn't work there anymore thinks that they want to blame it on them. But that's the state of employment now, is where it's nobody's like, nobody takes responsibility. Nobody holds themselves accountable for the issues that they got fired for or left the company for.
I do try to talk about things that I know. And obviously I've never worked for, actually I trained when I got my first 2 jobs the 4 days came to San Diego. It was between working at Stell Public House and working at Underbelly. And I was like, I had to balance the two. I went with the neighborhood local bar, Stout. It is interesting. It's like red pill, blue pill. Which one do you take, dude, when you think about it?
It's crazy.
But like, dude, look, I try to talk about things I know. I'll say this is my honest reaction. I do know really talented bartenders and hospitality restaurant workers who work at those places. Yeah. And then I've met some people who are absolute fucking morons.
Yeah, dude.
And it's like, dude, when you are the biggest, like, you could say that about anything though. You know what I mean? It's like when you have the biggest conglomerate, when you have the biggest like establishment in the city, you're going to get that. It's part of it. And it's like, yo, let me say this. When you have something good, like to what you just said, people come into Stout all the time and they'll find things to complain about, dude. Yeah. I had a guy, great regular friend of mine. I texted him today. He was complaining, why do your bars always have the doors open? People walking by looking at us. It's always cold. And I'm like, bro, really? This is what today is? We're complaining about doors. Yeah. You know, it's like people do. It's like part of human nature to fucking bitch about things. Yeah. And you know what? It's like the ability to take that and to roll with that.
Dude, I'll even go, like, I'm on their nuts right now, but they never treated me wrong. I always got the opportunity. Like, I was working at Raised by Wolves, you know, and it was the same consortium environment as when I left. That was like probably a 2-year gap, you know, for COVID. But I mean, it was what it was. But Consortium itself, when they first started, it was like grungy. And it was cool. So they kept the grunge, they kept the fuck you attitude, which was really cool because nobody else does that. They just bend over and they're like, the customer's always right. It's like,
yeah, fuck yeah.
But with Consortium, they did it in a way the customer's always right in appearance, where it's like, we will do we'll put out a good product, but we're going to do it our way. And nobody does that because a lot of people are going to fold. They're like, wait a second, you don't have scrambled eggs in your breakfast spot? Let me get, you know, a business can be like, I'm going to put scrambled eggs on there just because we try to do something different. We were an only omelet business, and now we're going to do scrambled eggs because the customer wants it.
Bro, I used to work in New York City in Greenwich Village at a cheeseburger tavern.
Yeah.
And one thing we would never do is cut the fucking cheeseburger for you.
Yeah.
It's just, dude.
But eventually
people would be like, what do you mean you can't cut it for you? Be like, here's a knife.
Yeah.
This is for you. We don't do that.
Yeah, which is what I loved that Consortium wouldn't do that. Like I remember in one of the bathrooms, it was, I forgot what bathroom it was, but you go in there and they have the bartenders at the bar in accents, reading the negative Yelp reviews over a speaker.
Bro, that's fucking neighborhood. Or I went to that I was in that bathroom. I thought that was so funny recently.
It's fucking hilarious.
That's so funny,
and
dude.
on the outside of the building, it says demand less. And I'm like, those things go so hand in hand. It's insane. Like when you go out, obviously you're going out, you want to be treated and others, but it got to the level of you want to be fucking served.
Yeah, bro, it gets like that. Yeah, dude, I feel like sometimes people are like, no matter how hard you go for them, I want more. Yeah. Dude, but like you feel like that like where I work sometimes and at probably Carnitas and some of it's like that's an industry thing.
When I hear,
you know what I mean?
When I hear somebody like at the bar, they're like, these Carnitas tacos are delicious, but they're greasy. And I'm like, fucking jump in the water, dude. Like it's insane.
Bro, dude, dead ass, bro, dead ass. And it's the same thing with me doing this podcast.
Yeah.
People will like be like, this book is out of order.
Yeah.
Or like there's a fold in that fucking tapestry.
Yeah.
Or the plant why isn't this more centered?
Yeah.
It's like and it's so funny, dude. Like as I get older, like I was talking to you about earlier, like I think about psychology and growth and it's like, I don't know, man. It's weird. Like, why do I go, Reese, that shirt's too brown.
Yeah. For real. I blame Yelp.
Yeah, bro. That's
you
funny, dude.
You give people too much power at that point. And like, I get it. You want other people to, to speak on their experience at a restaurant. But I mean, sometimes people go in there ready to rip you apart.
Yeah.
And that's not,
it takes like, years served to understand that.
Yeah. And I mean, like place.
And I think like, it's just like the ability, and like I've said, like the ability to take that in and to not take it personal and to like think it's like on the spot improv brain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, is this like, cause dude, I was at Hotel Del and we used to serve beers to go for like $15 for a fucking can of Stone, which is absurd. That's not what this 12-pack cost. And guys would just go off at you. And it's like, dude, okay, like I can see you're mad. I understand that. I'm not going to let that affect me or who I am. And I'm going to keep it fucking moving.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, that's why I don't think San Diego wants San Diegans here. Like from what I'm reading, I think that they want tourism here, and which is great. It's good for the city, but it's like, when you tell a bartender that doesn't live downtown San Diego that their shift is during the Padre game and they either park at a meter for $10 an hour or find some lot where they have to pay $40 an hour, is the juice worth the squeeze when you go to work? Like,
yeah, that's politics, bro. I don't know if you saw my Instagram. I called into the mayor and I got him on the phone. Yeah. And it was iHeartRadio. Yeah. And they said, hey, the mayor's coming in. Taylor Stout, lead us off. And I fucking stuck it to him, dude. And I was like, what are you doing to make this gas lamp industry better? Yeah. And he just rambled for 2 minutes. And it's fucking like, yeah, dude, that's politics. We can go so many.
Exactly. And I mean, it's shit that I don't know too much about. It's all surface level stuff. But when it comes to surface level shit, that is what it is. Like,
well, it's the pockets of the little guy.
Yeah.
That's real.
Yeah.
Like, working class, you're taxing arguably the working class. Yeah. That's kind of fucked up, I think. And you're low, and not only it's not about just the parking. It's like you're slowing tourism down to the working class so they can make money. Like that's the real story. Isn't about somebody having to pay $2.85 an hour for a couple more hours. Yeah. It's like you are legitimately affecting small businesses and the money that we are making and generating revenue for ourselves to make a living. Like that's the real fucking thing.
Yeah. I mean,
so we can go down that rabbit hole,
exactly.
but, hold on, dude. I'm going to get one more beer.
Yes.
Are you empty?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll take one.
Take a quick little break.
Yeah.
All right, sweet, bro. So dude, I have a really cool fucking story that I wanted to share with you. So, cheers. First off.
Love that sound.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on the pod. Good times as always, First time we've ever really done anything like this. All right, dude. So listen to this. So today is July. No, not July. It's fucking February. Today's February 17th. It's
July.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Fucking, so, bro, about 2 months ago, I was working at Stout on a Sunday lunch shift. This guy comes into the bar, sits down. Hey man, let me get a food menu and an IPA. Here you go, food menu. I don't take a card. During the lunch shift, when you're grabbing food, sometimes I don't. I just let it roll.
Yeah.
The guy goes outside on the phone, comes back inside, sits down at the bar, and goes, "Oh my gosh, I just got a call from my doctor. I'm cancer free. I was at stage 4 cancer," and I go. Instantly disarms me. Oh my gosh, congratulations. There's a few regulars there. Hey, welcome, man. That's awesome. Here, cheers. So normal. Here's a beer on the bar. Dude, guy sits around talking to us for about an hour and a half, 5 beers, Reuben sandwich. I turn around, he's gone, walks out on his tab.
Oh.
I genuinely felt at the time that he was being honest. Like, I was like, dude, I feel like I have a decent bullshit meter.
Yeah.
This guy fucking completely fooled me. So that happens. About 3 weeks ago, I'm in this huge group chat with about 250 bartenders here in San Diego, and they start posting photos and messages about this guy saying, there's a guy going around town, his name is Dennis, and he's walking out on his tabs. He goes into bars, he says, I have cancer, and he racks up a tab and he leaves.
Jesus.
So, these are some of the bars that this guy has hit over the last 6 months or however many. Crafted Commerce, Bar 1, Ironside, Lion Share, Cowboy Star, Fort Oak, Costera, Mabel's Gone Fishing, Kingfisher, Stout Public House, and definitely more.
Yeah.
This is like confirmed from people who work here in the city, right?
Yep.
I go, oh my gosh, I recognize this guy. So dude, Saturday, Valentine's Day, I see the guy walk by the bar.
Yeah.
I run outside to confront him, and I got his ass on fucking video. Yo, how are you? I have a tab for you at the bar, man. From like a couple months ago, yeah. You gotta come. You walked out a couple months ago on the bar on the tab.
I promise I'll come back tomorrow. I don't have any way to pay you right now.
You gotta just come with me right now.
No.
Yeah.
I promise you I'll come pay you.
So here's the thing. It was a Wednesday. About 2 months ago, you came in.
I haven't been. The only time I've been to that pub was one time on a Sunday.
So it was a Sunday. I was your bartender. You got a Reuben sandwich and about 5 beers. You had the story that you had cancer.
I did.
Yeah, I know. So can you just come walk with me?
No.
I got to get an ID or something.
I don't have anything on me to give you. I promise I will come pay it.
What was your name?
I'm not playing this game with you.
Okay, because there's a story going around that you're walking into bars and you're walking out on your tab with the same fucking story. And I feel like I should call the cops.
Well, I promise you I will come pay you.
What was your name? Just give me your name.
I'm not giving you my name.
Yeah, okay. So this is a big thing. Your face is all over the fucking internet. And I should call the cops on you.
Well, I promise you I'll come pay you.
Well, just give me your name. I don't think you're
name.
coming. I'm gonna send this video to the police.
Well, that's insane.
It's not insane. So there's
I've never even been in your bar on a Wednesday. I literally have been in your bar one time.
It was a Sunday. You're the guy. You know you're the guy. And I'm gonna call the cops. So we're gonna do that right now.
No, we're not. Please don't do that.
All right, so dude, hold on. There's more. So dude, literally, I call the cops. He takes off. He starts running down the street.
Was it athletic?
Oh, dude, we were literally like sprinting through the gas lamp. I went on a hot pursuit. I'm on the phone with the fucking cops, and this guy just takes off. And
it looks like he runs like straight armed, like he doesn't bend.
No, so dude, this is like a serial dine and dasher here in San Diego, and I caught him, and I chased this guy through the gas lamp. Yeah. Down past San Diego Public Library, around Petco Park, over the footbridge to the convention center, and he finally gave up. The cops came and they arrested him on the spot.
Fuck yes.
Dude, and it's like, look at this photo I have of this guy, of this mugshot here in fucking handcuffs. Dude, check that out.
Why are you detaining
How are you?
Good, good.
I'm Taylor.
Sorry. Jason, nice to meet you. So sorry for the late response.
It's okay.
It's just been blowing up out here. What's going on?
I work at Snow Public House.
Okay.
2 months ago, this man came in, gave us a story. I didn't get a card off him. I have cancer. We walked outside, I got a phone call, I have no cancer.
Okay.
Oh, congratulations. Sits, rings up a big bill, $50+. And the next thing you know, I turn around, he's gone.
Okay.
I work in the restaurant industry here in the city. I'm in a group chat with a bunch of bartenders. We have photographs of this guy going to all the major spots, Little Italy, North Park. He's running up these huge bar tabs. He gives the bartenders the same thing every time and says, I have cancer, and then he dips.
Okay.
So I saw him walk by the bar again today. I just went outside and said, hey man, you have a tab here. All you have to do is come back and pay the tab. He refused, and then he started taking off, and that's when I called you guys.
Okay. Do you have your ID?
I do, yes.
I appreciate it, man. Once
Yep.
again, so sorry for the late response.
That's like going. He's like it's just like a legit story, and I got this fucking guy arrested, and it was like so nuts. Like literally, dude, I'm on the phone. We were 20 minutes on the phone with this guy.
Yeah.
On the phone with the cops, being like, I'm going left on fucking Park Ave. I'm running down 9th Avenue. I'm right on fucking Market. Like, we ran through San Diego Public Library, and security's looking at us, and he's like, this guy's chasing me. And I'm like, this guy's a fucking criminal. Like, I'm on the phone with the police. Arrest, like, do something. And they're like, dude, what is going on? This guy's nuts. This guy's nuts. And like, they finally showed up, and they knew, when I called the cops, they knew who he was because he's been reported.
Oh, okay.
And like, dude, I got his ass fucking arrested, dude.
Good. Fuck that guy.
And dude, he, the unfortunate part is they let him go because it didn't happen today, but they gave me a case number, and they said, if you want to like do something about this, the case number is E26020019466. And he's ripping off fucking businesses here in San Diego. And I was like, there's part of me that thought like, dude, you're kind of a lunatic for doing this.
Yeah. That's like some stolen valor type
No, I
shit.
meant like myself.
Oh,
I'm kind of a lunatic I literally chased this dude like for like a couple miles through the gas.
No, because at that point, you're doing it for other people, and that's the charge. Where you're like, you know what, fuck it, I got to do it because nobody else can do it.
Dude, I gave the guy the opportunity to come into the bar and clear the tab.
Yeah.
And he acknowledged that he was in and that he would come back and pay. And it's like, dude, I don't know. Like, it's like, I just reacted in the moments. And I just wanted to kind of put the word out for people that like he was in the same outfit that he's in some of those photos. Oh. And it's like a Valentine's Day, Saturday night. He probably was going out to just rip off some other bar.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I just thought that was like kind of a fucking funny story. Like what would like some people were like, dude, you should beat his ass. And I'm like, I'm not going to put hands on a guy over a $50 bar tab.
And you lose that one.
You just eat it.
Yeah.
But like, you know what I will do, man? I will put your face in your name. The guy's name is Dennis Wood. What is the guy's birthday? The guy's birthday is June 28th, 1972.
Dennis Wood?
Dennis Wood.
Dennis Wood rip-off bars.
And it's like, you got to put this guy's face out when he's hit that many places. Yeah. It's like, I don't know. What do you think, man? What would you do in that situation with walkouts? I know you eat it. You eat the tab, but like...
Well, San Diego went through this weird phase with like, oh yeah, don't... if somebody's stealing something, let them go or whatever. But at the same time, it's like, that's not right.
No, that's good here. That's okay. Yeah, perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah, but it's... Because I remember that I would be at the downtown Albertsons and somebody's trying to scam the system, fill up their shopping cart and walk straight out. And there's like, I'm standing there watching it. And it's like, whatever. But there was one time, a long time ago, there was Nicole and I, we were out downtown walking around, and then I saw the bartender from Noble Experiment chasing down these two kids who had ran out on their tab. Like, because they racked up, I don't know, it was like $60, which I wouldn't chase somebody for. Like,
I would.
No.
No, I'm just kidding.
But it was like a $60 tab that this kid ran out on. And then, he was like, Reese, stop the dude. And at that point, I was just like, okay, you're going through something. Like, I saw the bartender going through some shit. And, like, I don't know. It's just like that team effort thing kind of came in, whereas like you let this happen here, it's gonna happen over there.
That's what it was, dude. It's like, dude, when we work behind the bar and we constantly deal with people telling us to go fuck ourselves.
Yeah.
Like that's when I'm just like not letting this one go through.
No, and I mean, I think everyone should. Honestly, I think everyone should jump into that mode because it's not fair. Because like, there was this one girl that came to the bar, but anyways, this one story where the dude came running up to me. I stopped him, and then he like just did this whole kid mentality. But I wasn't at work. Like, you're not allowed to put hands on people when you're at work,
dude. I mean,
but he lit up a cigarette. He was just like, I'm not going back. He lit up a cigarette, and I remember smacking the cigarette out of his mouth. And I was like, pay your fucking tab. Go pay your fucking. And then like got closer and closer to him, and he was just like breaking all the rules of the security thing that I was telling you earlier. It's like I was getting closer and closer, and I was just like, because I do want to actually hit this kid. Like,
I know, man. I know that feeling.
Because it's like it was almost like one of those like YouTube pranks where like, oh, I think I'm gonna go in, run out on this tab, and make this dude look like the fool. And
that's like sociopaths.
Yeah. Like
the guy the dentist is a full-blown sociopath. Yeah. And we have to, you and the gas lamp at Henry's on 5th Avenue, full of them.
Yeah, dude. It's crazy trying to police. I couldn't imagine. I mean, that goes into another direction. I couldn't imagine being a cop trying to police drunk people in San Diego.
I know.
Being a bouncer trying to police people in a bar was crazy. They were like, oh, I know the law. I'm allowed to do this. And I'm just like, holy, like, how do you do this every day?
Yeah, that's a whole thing.
It's it's a whole nother thing. But honestly, fucking chase his ass down. Fucking.
I don't know, man. I know it's kind of psycho that I did that. I didn't plan to do that. Like, I didn't walk out of the bar and run around the corner to be like, I'm gonna chase this guy 2 miles downtown. It's just like it kept. So here's what happened: is I called the cops. They were like, "Yo, stop pursuing that guy, or if you don't stop pursuing, we're gonna have to call the sergeant." And I was like, "All right, I'm gonna stop." I hung up, and then he just kept going, and I was like, "There's no way they're gonna catch this guy." And I was like, "Fuck it, dude!" And I kept running after him. I chased up to him. I called back like, I'm going to chase this guy. And they're like, all right, we're calling the sergeant. They will come and find you. Yeah. And I was like, fuck it. And it's like, I'm never going to put hands on somebody over a tab. But like, I don't know, when I know that you are a serial dine and dasher and you're ripping off all my friends in their restaurants, I'm going to fucking see that shit through.
Yeah. No, and I've been on the phone in the same situation. Actually, Nicole was on the phone in the same situation where I remember I came home from work. I had my laptop in my backpack in the back of my truck. And there was some weird feeling at 3:30 in the morning when I went inside. And it was her and her friend sitting there. And it was probably 10 minutes of being inside. And I was like, I didn't lock my truck. So I went back outside. And there was some like tweaker homeless dude in my truck ruffling around. Like starts running away. I start chasing the dude. She calls 911. I grab my golf club, but also I grab my flashlight. So like at night, if you ever want to fucking protect yourself, and also just like in a situation like that, just they can't see if you have the light on them. Yeah. So the dude couldn't see me. He was just like this, and I was like, "What did you take? Empty your pockets." So he emptied his pockets. He had a bunch of people's IDs. He dropped his duffel bag, which had I don't know what heroin looks like, but I'm assuming it was that. But then the cop was the one, and I don't blame them because it's really for our safety. But they were saying the same thing: stop chasing him, do this, or that.
It's for. It's like for I don't know.
It is for safety because, like the guy, I remember the cops got there and it was like I was the one that was in trouble.
Exactly.
And so I was like, they were like, "What if he had a knife?" And I was like, "I had a golf club." And they were like, "What if he had a gun?" And I was like, "I had a golf club." Like.
No, and you're absolutely right. And a police officer who I'm friends with, he's like, you could have done a citizen's arrest where you grab the guy, but then it's like but then it's like, the guy goes, Taylor broke my arm, Taylor hurt my neck, I'm injured. It's like, and then I physically grabbed a guy over something that happened 2 months ago. Like that doesn't always hold up. Anyways, I don't know. It's just like somebody on New Year's Eve, somebody walked out of the bar with a beer in their hands, and I like ran up to him and grabbed the glass out of their hand. I was like, what the fuck do you think you're doing? Yeah. And somebody was like, dude, just let it go. But it's like, dude, when we are in these careers where we constantly let things go, that builds up and we snap.
No, and it's not even that. It's almost like, who are you catering to? Because I remember there was one time at the bar, there was this dude, he smelled just like piss, clearly homeless, but he had a $20 bill and he was trying to buy a beer. And I was like,
I told you not to tell people that I came through.
No, but he's sitting at the bar and he's like, clearly dirty nails, everything, like this super long pinky nail. And he's like, let me get a Coors Light. And I was like, I'm sorry, dude, I'm not going to serve you. I don't feel comfortable serving you. It's like everything that you're allowed to say. But you know, having people see the situation, everyone jumped in, both on different sides. Like, why didn't you serve him this? And I was like, did you smell him? To also, that was the only $20 he had. You think that he's going to leave after that one beer? He's going to grab one more beer and he's going to sit here and camp.
Absolutely right, bro.
And it's not
so true.
Yeah. And it's like, it sucks because when you work downtown, you become callous to the homeless situation and then like situations like that.
Yeah.
And then with everyone having an opinion, and the internet being right there, like, oh, this bartender didn't want to serve this dude because of this. And I'm like, no, that's not what it was. I'm also trying to think of the future situations that's going to happen with the situation. And it's, yeah.
The reality is we don't need to explain to people those decisions.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the customer's job to argue why I should or should not serve that person.
Yeah.
We deal with that at Stout, with that corner on 6 and B, with all the trolley and everything. And it's like, you're absolutely right. If you see a problem coming, that's our job. That's responsibility, dude, to say, I'm sorry, professionally, I don't feel comfortable doing this right now because you might have been in here a week or a month ago and there was a problem. It's like, there's nothing illegal or unethical or wrong about that. Like, I deal with that all the fucking time, dude.
Yeah.
And it's like how you have that conversation with that person, as opposed to ripping them and screaming them and yelling at them, insulting them. It's just professionally being like, you know what, sir, I'm sorry. I can't do this. I don't feel comfortable doing this. Not today. I'm going to have to ask you to leave, please.
Yeah.
And like, more times out of not, when you do it that way, it goes better than being like, fuck off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, because you can't really say what's on your mind. That heightens the situation. I remember there was this one dude, he used to sing at open mics at the bar, and he just started drinking like way too much. And then there was one night he came in on a busy night and he was stealing people's drinks, putting them all into one pint, drinking out of one. And then he started speaking Haitian into the mirror. Like, just going on, and that's pretty creepy. He's like pretty tall dude. And then so I 86'd him, and then he came in like 2 weeks later, no context for anybody else at the bar, but it was just me. And he kicks in the door like Wild West style, and he's just like,
which bar was this at?
This was at LD.
Okay.
This is also one of the reasons, like, dive bars are cool, but you deal with so much more.
Yo, you said something. Yeah. Oh,
dude. No, but he came in, and his literal sentence, he dropped the N-bomb, and he's just like, you and me outside, let's go. And I was like, no, dude, I'm not. And then I had a full bar. And then I was like, I'm not going outside, dude. Like, just please. And he was clearly drunk. And then, like, one of my regulars was sitting there, and he's like, dude, you're not going to mess with Reese, fuck this. And he started getting up, and he was going to, and then I couldn't let that happen. Right. So then came from behind the bar right as they were about to go at it. And I pulled him, like, it's almost like he gave his body up, but I pulled him away from the regular. And maybe I pulled him too hard. Maybe he gave his body up, but he like did like this little flip and then hit the wall. And then like I had to kick him out. He threw his like weird beads at me. And when I got back to the bar, back on stage in front of people, when your heart's going crazy, you're like, okay, I just had to deal with a situation which could have ended up me getting like hurt or whatever. And then I remember it was split down the middle. It was like two people left. They were like, that was aggressive. And I'm like, the dude came in to fight me. And like, I was handling it in a really calm manner, but he was going to fight somebody else. And then I threw him out, and now I'm the problem. Like, I policed it in a way because nobody else was there. It was just me. And it was so weird. Like, when people chime in on stuff that they don't have to deal with, it's this sense of entitlement that makes me want to throw up.
I think it's just it's the sense of control. They want to feel to control the situation. Yeah. It's like I know, dude. I know exactly that moment when you have to deal with that high pressure situation, and then you go right back to work,
and
it's
then
like,
smile.
Yeah. And it's like, that's like, dude, that's what I've fucking learned over the years is like how to like your brain to like go like, it's like those like up and down switches fast. Yeah. To go, you're cool. Something happens crazy. And then you got to go right back to work.
Yeah.
Bro.
That's like I don't know. It's like a fighter's mentality to be able to switch in. And I'm not a fighter, but like when I did work with other people that were on my team that were in boxing and MMA, they could get up and giggle after fighting with customers. And I was like, I don't have that. Like I internalize it and I'm like, what did I do to hurt their feelings? Like, did I handle that correctly? I remember my other buddies when they're on the top of the pile, stopping a situation, they're like, yeah, bitch, like talking shit to them while they're on the bottom. And I'm like, dude, please be nice. Like it was, yeah. It's hard. It's a hard thing to police, especially when everybody's a lawyer now. Just be like, you know what I found?
The phones, bro. The phones. Nah, dude. But like I said earlier, my that's more of what I do. It's not about making drinks. It's about like keeping order and building relationships and establishing relationships and like, yeah, the homeless, man. But that's what like the ability to manage your emotions in high stress situations, whether you're a bartender or a security guard or a cook or a chef, and like dealing like as you go through this industry, that's what I'm learning is like that's what like the growth and elevation looks like.
Yeah.
You know, because it's when you're on a big team in a place with 50 people, you can hide.
Yeah.
But when you're the face of El Dorado, or when I'm at Stout Public House, I have to deal with way more things. We have to deal with way more things.
And it goes into their judgment of the experience that they had. I'm like, dude, if I'm in a dive bar and there's a fight that happens in any state, if they're fighting and then it eventually ends or whatever, I'm still going to, that's going to be a fun part of my experience where I got to watch, like, I hope nothing happens, but I didn't have to police something, but I know that I'm at the zoo.
These are zoos, bro.
And I'm like, okay, well, I just saw a cool exhibit at the zoo and like, finished my beer.
Entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and look, legally, look, I've never fucking swung at anybody in my life. Yeah. No, in my life, I have. I'm saying behind a bar. When I'm at a job, I've never.
And I would never,
I would never do that. I have way more self-control than I think people might think. But like, it's about like, it is entertainment. And, you know, you could be the comedy store, you could be the cocktail bar with all the lights and music, or the dive bars where it's like that's what the entertainment is, the interaction with everybody, the conversation, the chaos. Dude, I was at a fucking dive bar here in OB a while ago. Crackhead rolled through the bar, just starts grabbing shit off the bar. Yeah. Bartender's like, hey, fuck you, I told you, get the fuck out of here. And he's like walking him out. He's walking him out, and like really quick, he just grabs the water cooler and takes off, and they start chasing him down the street.
It's not worth it. Like the company could buy another. I understand, because it's almost like you don't want to get something, like you don't want someone to pull something over on you. That's not a good feeling. And it's also like, especially when you're like, somebody explained it to me a long time ago when I was a bouncer. They were like, the bartenders are like firefighters. Everyone loves firefighters. The security guards are like cops, and like everyone hates when you get policed. So it was like having to be in a situation where you were the bartender, or you were the police officer and the firefighter. You feel like, you feel like someone's trying to get something over on you, and you're like, that's not fucking cool, dude. I'm just trying to serve people drinks.
Just trying to do my job. And
you're taking this so far. Yeah,
man. And I think that these are like real things that hospitality people experience. Yeah. You know, it's kind of like something that doesn't get talked about too much. That's not in the hospitality handbook. No. But
that's why I say, like, it's funny when somebody were to tell me, like, if somebody came in and was applying for a job that I'm a bar manager at, like they're trying to be a bartender, they said they went to bartending school. I laugh at it a little bit. I'm glad you learned some shit, but also bartending is bartending school. Like, you learn so much shit.
Yeah, I don't want to crap on those. I try not to crap on those. I agree with what you're saying, but it's like those people are trying. Yeah, you know what I mean? And it's like, it sounds so condescending the way I just said that. They're trying. No. That's stupid. And I don't want to sound like a fucking arrogant asshole. Like, no, but like.
But wouldn't you say, like, the experience, having to deal with an experience, like, they don't teach that at bartending school? Like,
what we're really talking about, dude, is like time served in restaurants.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what makes like longevity and successful people. And that's how you can tell is like there's little things that people say and do and the way they act and are. And that's how I started this podcast. Because I was like, oh, this dude actually knows what the fuck he's talking about. And then there's like, I know we're on a bartending podcast right now, but it's like, yeah, dude. And like bartending school, it's like those people are trying to get ahead. I'm never going to shit on somebody who's trying to better themselves or trying to make more money or trying to go after those things. Because you and me were those people at one point. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I get what you're fucking saying. But it doesn't,
Yeah, I don't, it's nothing, I guess it was imposed on me when I was in charge of a bar, where I was trying to put together a team to save a bar from going under, which went under. I was like, we need a certain type of people. We need to put together a good team. And they were like, this person went to bartending school. And I was like, that's great. And so I brought them on. And it wasn't anything against him. And like, it was just, how do you deal with situations? Because bartending is so much more than just learning drinks. And
so much.
You're matching energy. You're the face. Like you have to put on the show. Like, and it's not like, Tafferty's just like, you always got to wear a smile and all this other shit. It's like, no, like I feel like a good bartender plays the encounter. Like if there's just matching energy overall. If somebody's quiet and they look like they don't want to talk, they could have a better time at the bar just knowing that you checked on them 3 times, got them 3 drinks, and they can leave.
I learned that at Stout with, Adrian, my coworker.
Yeah.
Best guy I've ever worked with in restaurants.
Fucking love him.
Hands down. I've learned so much from him. Shane, who took over at El Dorado as the GM.
Yeah.
Great guy. He's up at Big Bear. He's doing his thing. I went up and visited him at the hotel. Shane used to come in, and I always used to try to talk to him. I'm like, these people want to talk. And one day Adrian was like, dude, he doesn't want to fucking talk to you. Read the room.
Yeah.
Like some people want to talk. Some people want to have a beer and shut the fuck up. Yeah. And Adrian was like, dude,
no, read
the fucking room, dude.
It's almost like anytime somebody sits down at a bar, you have a little interview with them. The interview is to see what type of service you want, in my opinion. Where it's like, if you're cold and you're just on your phone the whole time, I'm not going to check on you 50 times. Like, I'm going to look at your drink, see when it gets to a quarter, then I'll ask you. But if you put it down and you're staring off into the distance, okay, now I'm doing
it. It's like you people watching.
Yeah,
that's what we do for a living.
So it's like
that's bartending, bro.
It's different. And I don't know, I guess over the years, looking at those little skill sets that I've built, I'm proud, because it got to the point where I'm offering people, taking an order over at Carnitas and they get a burger and I'm like, do you want fries with that? And that fucking sentence kills me. I'm 38 and I'm asking you if you
How
want.
many times have you asked somebody, do you want fries with that?
Thousands now, and it hurts every time, but it, when you've learned other parts of the career that other people don't understand yet when they're starting out or have been doing it for 5 years, they haven't encountered it. You're like, okay, so I do have value. It's whatever you've collected over the years that makes you feel like you're successful.
Yeah.
And you can be in any setting. That's, I don't know. For me, that was a big value.
Bro, it's like, I used to work at Cheeseburger Tavern. Do you know how many, we sold maybe 500 to 1,000 cheeseburgers a day. Do you know how many times I asked, how would you like your burger cooked?
That many? Oh, shit.
It's like, dude, it's like that statement is imprinted in my fucking frontal cortex.
Yeah. That's why we all have these scripts in our head. When somebody sits down,
man. And that's the thing versus there is the artist, the creator, I'm going to create, and then there's the factory worker.
Yeah.
And I feel like a good bartender is you have to be able to pull in parts of both. The factory worker needs to know, how would you like your burger cooked?
Yes.
Do you want fries with that?
Yeah.
But then the artist is let me observe this customer. Do they want to interact? What is this person like? What you were talking about earlier, touching a table, it's awkward. I'm reading I'm trying new material out. It's tapping into both of those mindsets.
Dude, it was such a shock. It was so foreign to me when I went from the first job that I got after deciding I wasn't going to go back to El Dorado. It was Carnitas. And then I was like, the big wave after COVID, I was like, I got to get another job because it's all money out there. So then I went to Tipsy Crow, which was...
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was at
How long were you there for?
I want to say a year.
Oh, cool, man.
Bro, that was money because everyone was coming out. And then I did Raised by Wolves. Going from craft to high volume, that's the reason why, what type of bartender are you? That's what I try to get into, because you could have learned a bunch of shit, but it doesn't apply in this area. Because when I'm over at Raised by Wolves, they're like, oh, let me get a paper plane, let me get a penicillin, a Ramos gin. You have to know those recipes.
Yeah.
And you have to do it fast.
You have to be able to be the factory worker with the cocktails.
With quality fundamentals.
Yeah.
And then you go over to Tipsy Crow, And you have this 21-year-old that's just like, give me an Irish trash can, or like,
I've literally never heard that cocktail in my entire life until you just said it. Irish trash can. What the fuck is an Irish trash can?
But in that job, that's when I found out everyone was just pretending to know what these things were.
Is that a real cocktail?
It's a thing, yeah. You just make a fucking Long Island, I think, and then put melon in it, and then you take a Red Bull, and then you just put it on top.
That's fucking wild. I have a question for you really quick before you tell the story. Is a Long Island a cocktail?
I mean, everything is a cocktail that has 2 ingredients or more, but it's not a craft cocktail.
Somebody asked me.
I fucking know this. I am the queen of petty. Like, I named our fantasy football league after him because it was this whole thing. I fucking love Q, good kid. But he was just like, I did high volume craft cocktail, and I was like, okay, so, and then I asked him, he's like, did in Seattle, it was a sports bar, and those 2 things didn't make sense. Craft cocktails at a sports bar. And then I was like, okay, so, and then his first thing was like, okay, if you're in craft, how do you make your Long Islands? And I'm like, that's my tell, where I'm like craft.
First off, you work at a craft cocktail, nobody fucking orders a Long Island.
Nobody. That's the reason why I charge fucking $16 for it. When,
that's funny. We're going first circle. Anyways.
Yeah, but it's not even. It's a cool skill set to have. Like, it's fun, but you don't make that, because when I was working in craft, making 7 to 9 step ingredient cocktails.
Oh yeah.
You're pulling for 9 hours. You're making like 190, but then I'd go for 6 hours where some kids like, you're a bartender and you don't know how to make a green tea. And then I clock out after 6 hours and make $700. You're just like, fuck, what do I want to do?
Right. What you're talking about is the reality of the industry. It's not all the time. The dive bars with the Jameson and the Miller Lights oftentimes make more than the craft cocktails. But it's not true all over the place. Sometimes it's the opposite. Depends where you're at. But
also depends on staffing. But like, that's like true Irish bartending. You do everything, you get everything. But in like a big operation where you have barbacks and all this other stuff, you got to get the
big tip out. Oh yeah.
Yeah, the percentages and stuff. And then, it was just a funny, like hearing Q bring that up to me. I was just like, dude, I was like, I don't know. I'm not going to call him. I love Q. So, but with the conversation, like, let's say one night was a lifetime, it went big viral. Like, that conversation, because I started asking all the bartenders. So it's like, but he took it. We were also a little drunk. So I was like, a Long Island's not a cocktail. What I meant to say was, you're not doing craft Long Islands,
Of course not.
But there are places that do it. If you could figure out how to harness like sarsaparilla and then do a bunch of artisanal shit.
It's not a fucking cocktail. It's like Long Island's this fucking. If you order a Long Island, guess what? I'm fucking judging you.
I think one of my first dates with Nicole, we went to Sinopolis in La Jolla, and I had just gotten into the industry. I was still a bouncer at this time, and I asked. We go to the bartender, and she was like, "Oh, let me get a red wine," and I was like, "Let me get a Long Island." And then Nicole was like,
"No fucking way! You ordered a Long Island on a first date with Nicole?"
It's the only time I've ever. It wasn't our first date.
Were you nervous?
No, I thought that I was getting into bar stuff, so I was like, I hear this all the time, so I'm gonna get a Long Island.
Oh, okay.
So
that's funny.
Yeah, but she looked at me and she was like, "Don't ever order a Long Island again."
Good for you, Nicole. Nah, bro. Q's mad funny, dude. Like, his storytelling abilities, I don't know, man. He's just like, that's so funny you called him out on that.
No, that's when you said it, though. I heard his words through you. Because he wanted to
said, don't tell him it was from me. He goes, don't tell him I asked him that.
Literally, people that do not, like, there was 10 of us in a fantasy football league. Only he and I knew that story. I named the whole fantasy league after a Long Island is not a craft cocktail.
That's funny, dude. When you go out, I know when you come to Stout, you drink your hazies and your Tito's. What do you, if you and Nicole are going on a date, a nice place, or a cocktail bar, like what do you order?
I mean, it kind of goes, it's like anybody that asks me for a bartender's choice.
Okay.
Or asks me like, what's your favorite drink? My first question is, where am I at? Like, what am I doing? Because the setting matters. Like, if I'm in a cocktail lounge, I'm probably going to do an old fashioned.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something direct. It just feels like it's.
Do you put no fruit in your old fashions?
No. I mean, but also that goes to the versatility of, I feel like a good bartender is the versatility of how you could do drinks and not shitting on the other drinks. I'll shit on a Long Island, but I won't shit on like Midwest old fashioned, with the brandy and the muddled stuff and all that other stuff. But, and like, that's what I actually try to tell new bartenders too, is they're automatically stuck in their ways. They're like, I learned how to make this old fashioned this way. This is how you make old fashions. And I was like, okay, well, so I learned another couple ways. You're not wrong, but there are other right ways to do it. So like if somebody is expecting an old fashioned from the Midwest, I tell them that I don't have Korbel brandy or all that, I'm not going to muddle shit in there. And then, but typically like if I'm in a lounge, old fashioned, if Nicole and I are at Fiesta, we do shit margarita mix and we make margaritas. But tiki bars, Iron Ranger.
Bro, I heard that the margarita was invented in America. I don't know if that's true or not,
right.
But the way that like a true margarita, if somebody really wants one, I don't put any of that goddamn sour mix in. I give them a fucking 2 ounces of quality tequila, a splash of take a lime garnish, squeeze that shit in, and a little splash of Grand Marnier. And I fucking do a little shake, and I pour it over fresh ice.
And people like it?
I mean, that's like an expensive, like legit margarita. Because it's like, get rid of the fucking sour mix, dude.
Yeah.
And I know we're talking craft and artistry versus fucking factory worker and volume. Those are two different things.
Yeah.
But like, if I'm fucking sitting there and I'm engaging with a person and I have time on my hands at Stout, and somebody's like, I'd like a nice margarita. Yeah. Like for my like Mike and his wife who come in. And like they want something nice and I got time, that's what I'll give them. Yeah. And I'll obviously, you upcharge for the nice tequila and all those things, but like, I don't know, dude, I went down to Mexico and I don't know, dude. I don't know anything about cocktails. But like, get rid of the fucking sour mix if you want something nice.
To me,
you tell me.
I mean, they all have a place. Like somebody has their preference. It's really like, you're not doing it for yourself and your pride. You're doing it for the person in front of you. Like,
very true.
And like, that's what people don't understand. It's like, I make a better margarita. It's like, well, come on. Like that person may have liked you more because, or they might have actually liked the margarita because my very kumbaya thing when I train people is your personality, the way you present yourself is an ingredient to the cocktail that you're making. Because if we are all working on the same specs, which bars should do if you're especially doing craft, and somebody looks at me and they're like, dude, you make a better Moscow Mule than that, dude. And I'm like, well, he's a grumpy Gus, or she's grumpy. It's like, or they might like theirs better and I've had a bad day. Yeah. So they start judging you based on you rather than your drink. But for me, it's like, we do Tommy's Margs over at Carnitas. That's just lime agave tequila. But then like you have your, like kind of the one that you're talking about is more like the cousin of the Sidecar where they actually have an orange liqueur tequila and, obviously Sidecar is different, but the orange liqueur in that makes it different. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know the history of all that stuff. I'm really intrigued. I'd love to learn about the history. I'm interested in like Prohibition and fucking Al Capone in those days, bro. Yeah. Like, I don't know. It's different times back then, bro. Dude, you want to know? I'll show you this photo, dude. I got these photos of Stout Public House back in the 1930s. Yeah. And it's the same building and bones and structure. And you look at this and you go, I can fucking tell that this is, it's just cool, man. I think the history of the industry is interesting, man. The restaurant, just the whole, I brought on Corey Minotti, who works at Hotel Del, and he kind of gave me like a history of tipping. Yeah. And it started on these fucking trains that ran across the country when they were building the railroad systems. Okay. And fucking, they wouldn't pay the workers. And so to afford the building of the railroads, they invented tipping for wealthy people to give the workers so that they could live and eat. Yeah. And like, here we are 100 years, I'm sorry, I don't know the fucking right time for that, years later. And we're like, it's a whole fucking industry that spans across the entire world and country. Isn't that kind of fucking nuts? I mean, like, I love that. Think about the evolution of our industry. Yeah, for sure. I don't know, man. It's just fucking wild, dude. And then you had like the bootlegging days and Prohibition and Al Capone and gangsters and all that shit, bro. Yeah. Fucking nuts. It is crazy. Like we did a tour in Chicago of like that riverboat tour or whatever, where they were talking about the architecture in that one building that's supposed to look like a champagne glass to show that they were like serving alcohol during Prohibition or something. So they painted the building in the color Like the top was like gold foil to show that it was like a wine glass.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all like, it's a business, dude.
Oh yeah.
And it employs tens of millions of people in our country.
Yeah.
And it's just like I used to think, dude, I used to be like, you're gonna get bored with restaurants or run out of things to be creative about, dude. So fucking ocean of things that is in our industry.
Yeah.
And I'm a bartender, you're a bartender. We've both done our things creatively and stuff like that, dude. There's so much that goes into this stuff that and like the more I get into this and the more we grow, you learn about the behind the scenes.
Yeah. No, it's funny because, you know, you think being like a middle-aged bartender, you're like, oh, that's not successful. You didn't do anything with your life and all this other shit. And like, I mean, what's your idea of success? Like, is it about money or is it about stature? Status. Like,
fucking,
but I remember I had to console a lawyer that hated his fucking job because he was just like, oh, the politics of being a lawyer and all this other stuff. And I can't work at this firm because I'm being all this. He said all this shit. And I'm like, I know that you went to school for like 7 or 8 years to do this career, but you don't have to do it. Like, switch. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. And if it's not making you happy, I'm going to go ahead and say you're not successful. Like, because I feel like your career level with your happiness level, like, or your status in your career, there needs to be some sort of element of like complete happiness in order to be completely successful.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, look, I don't do, yeah, it's like the dick measuring contest of like, what do you do for a living?
Yeah. And like, I mean, like I always hated it when somebody left a tip and they were like, here's for the college fund. I was like, why do you assume that, you know, I didn't go to college? I didn't finish college. I'm not the school type, but you just automatically assume that there's a next step for me out of this. Yeah.
I think there's so many ways to build careers through the hospitality industry, but you have to like pursue it. You have to like, it's not just gonna, sometimes they fall in your lap, but like, yo, man. And like, I feel like you're trying new things. You're trying to think of ways to grow and create. And it's like, yo, you know, earlier you were talking about you're an artist. It's like, there is this correlation between what we do in restaurants as work and like creativity. It's like, and I know it's to be a paid creative is really tough to build up to that.
Yeah.
But like, it's like, if in like 6 months, it's tough, but in 6 years, we can set ourselves up for that.
Yeah. I mean, it gets tougher because I feel like the natural next steps out of bartending is management that can turn into career depending on wherever, like, actually a stable career with benefits depending on where you're at.
Yeah.
Or you start to bounce into consulting or beverage directing and all that other stuff. But with the internet and AI and all this other stuff,
it's changed the game.
It's dying. And
no, oh, I'm sorry, what's dying?
Consultantship,
but there's opportunity for new things with that.
Yes,
bro.
like as long as you're not, I mean, for me, like in the beginning, you're just like, okay, this sucks. Anybody could, because they were using it in like one of the companies I was working for, where they were like, okay, it'll generate a menu instead of you creating a menu.
About AI and fucking all that shit. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
And then you get like whatever prompt they enter into AI. It's like, yeah, the menu that you're getting is like a Bahama Mama and all that other stuff.
Because like fucking thousands of other people have done the same thing or the same item on, as you know what I mean?
But when you're jumping into theoretical costs and it's something that you're like, no, I don't need to hire a bar manager because I have the manager that knows how to use AI and work Google. It's like, okay, but the theoretical cost, like, is it going to be like cheap to make this cocktail? And it's like, most of the time it's no, because
right.
And the specs that they give you, and it's, you know, because I don't know, it started to bother me that it started to go that direction with what the company that I was at, where they were just like, I'm going to look this up and then this is what we're going to do. We're going to implement it. And I'm like, so you're not taking into account that you're using like a milk product at a high volume place. And so if you're shaking a milk like half and half into a cocktail, you're not realizing that that's a dead tin. I can't use that tin anymore. I have to stop everything I'm doing to wash it thoroughly.
Yeah.
Because like anybody else orders something simple, it's now a milky cocktail. And you're like, you didn't think about that. Like, this is where you do need people that have experience behind the bar running your bar stuff.
It's that human touch, bro.
Yeah.
You can't buy that. You can't AI that shit, bro.
But it's also hard to convince ownership on that. Because they're like,
well, what ownership? I don't know, man. Like real ownership. I don't think so. What kind of ownership have you been talking to? I don't know.
no, it just kind of depends, like what kind of group you're going to be a part of.
Yeah,
Like, because there are
exactly.
some groups that are hands-on with what you're trying to do. And then they come from a culinary or bar background. But then there's other groups. There's a lot of groups that like they don't have that background. So
those are the people who bought their way in.
yeah, they rely on the expertise of people who've been doing it for decades. Which I don't know, like how you figure out what group to be a part of to get into that. But I've experienced it, and I'm like, damn, okay, I'll wait till this blows up in your face. And
it does.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
There's people who have bought their way into the industry, and look, you need money to start bars, and then there's people who've worked their way up and that have done it themselves, man. And like that's generally who I've worked for is like small business people who have like the stout owners. Those guys fucking came up through the system.
Well, that's the way I would want to own a bar in San Diego, especially. It's me and buddies that I trust. We're doing the work, and like keeping it cheap until we can get other people in there. But that almost looks like selfish from the ownership perspective. But that's also the reason why you got to stay in your lane if you're getting employed somewhere, because you're messing with somebody else's capital, their gamble.
And that's where the trust comes in.
Yeah.
And it's
what you were saying earlier.
And I know people, dude, who have bought in too early, and they're bad situations. I got a buddy who's suing an owner right now.
Yeah.
And it's wild.
Yeah, dude.
It's fucking wild. And it happens. And it's part of and look, I'm never spilling any tea. I'm not trying to create problems on here and stuff like that, but like those things are real.
Yeah.
They're very fucking real. And look, I've had great relationships, man. I ain't got anybody to talk shit about on here, man, but it is a business.
Yeah.
It's a fucking business, and it goes both ways.
That's why
I understand that.
That's why it's kind of tough if I get into a situation in a new bar where I know something's done not necessarily wrong, or it could be done differently and cheaper and a little quicker and stuff like that. I won't say anything. Not because it kind of turns you into a villain to somebody who's actually in charge of it. And you're just like, you know what? This isn't my money that I'm gambling with. Like, that might be the wrong approach, because you do want to help somebody out, and you should be like, you should probably do it this way, or you should say something so it saves the business money. But you also start getting into the politics of everything, and you're like, okay, I don't want to schedule that dude because he's stepping on toes and shit like that.
It gets political.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something that you can't really, you have to have gone through it in order to know that it exists.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love talking to those people, man. And you can see that. And, I know there's like the hierarchies and the dick measuring contests and all that shit, but like, dude, I respect people who dedicate themselves to this work. And that's why I love talking to you about these things, man. We've had so many conversations off camera about these things and stuff like that. We will continue to, but it's a grind, man. It's not, we are in the business of entertainment, and we make this look so fun, and we're all having fun, and there's money flying around, but that's not always the case behind the scenes.
No.
It's a lot of stress. The margins are thin. It's less money than people think. And I will always say, save your money, treat people with respect, be kind, because so many people struggle, and, reach out to us, because, I think you have a good head on your shoulders. I genuinely believe that. And you do meet some fucking scumbags in this industry, and I like talking to the good people.
Yeah. No, it's not as, I don't think it's as bad, or I don't want to use bad, but it's not like it used to be, where people like, it's almost like they had their egos with them when they walk through the door, that are in the industry, if they're at a popular bar or whatever.
I think it's still like that.
Which is wild to me. Like, I guess I see it sometimes, but I also I don't care. Like, I have become more empathic behind the bar, especially when listening. Just gives for a better response, a better encounter. And that's what I kind of lean on. It was like, if they say something douchey or disrespectful, I'm like, okay, cut that piece of the cake off. I'm going to start working on this piece. So it is what it is, but I've seen it a lot more in the past, because that was when the craft scene was becoming like really big. Like right now it's kind of overdone.
Bro, see, no, I look at it as like, it's like just getting worse. Like, I feel like with the phones and the social media, I see so many douchey fucking people. I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah.
That's what I see with different lenses.
Yeah.
You know, you're in a different market. I'm in a market but there's also really good people too, though.
It is. Yeah. Even on the bar goer side of things, like, I always call them rookies when they come out, like on a special occasion, like people are coming out on, cause President's Day, they have the day off, or, the 4th of July, like a bunch of people flood down to Carnitas. I always used to get mad at like the string ordering and the waving and other stuff like that. And then when they're actually ordering, they're taking too long to order because they're trying to figure out. And I twisted the view. I'm like, you're taking too long. You're slowing everything down. I twisted the view to, I think you're trying to be polite. Like, I think you are trying to order in a polite way by asking questions that you already know the answers to.
Yeah, like wrap it up. Yeah, come on.
It's like and I'm like, okay, you haven't been outside in a while. So while you're looking at the taps and seeing what we actually have on tap, you're at the same time asking me what we have on tap. I'm like,
that's funny. Those rhetorical questions, like observe the room type shit. Yeah.
And then you don't put them at fault because you look at them and be like, okay, so this is you thinking out loud, which is fine.
Yeah.
But, and it's just, I think a jaded bartender could take that the other direction. Be like, come on, dude, what do you want? I've seen that. So it makes it easier to deal with when you look at it from a different perspective.
Yeah, you have a lot of empathy, which is a really good thing.
That's
a good thing.
No, but also matching people's energy. That was my biggest tool since COVID, because everybody that came out after COVID they hadn't been out in a while. Yeah. They hadn't been at bars. There was a lot of snapping, a little hey, and a little whistling and shit. And I was like, okay, you've just been a dick. I'm allowed to be a dick back. And I just didn't like doing that. Like you got to put your adult voice on in certain situations, but not all of them, I think. But yeah, no, it taught me that. And I feel like that's a good tool to be able to change your perspective on how people just order drinks. Like, because I can't tell you how many times people have like apologized because they closed out too soon. I was like, why? That's okay. Because other bartenders, apparently they just get mad that you didn't keep a tab open. Yeah.
Having empathy as a bartender is good.
Yeah.
And we do get jaded sometimes. But to constantly remind ourselves that it's about them.
Yeah. Is
really important.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's what makes a good bartender. And that's why you're a good bartender. And I gotta keep reminding myself that. I get jaded. I do get jaded sometimes.
I do too. I mean, you have your days.
Yeah.
But you can get on one of those days where somebody caught you and they Yelp you, and you're like, come on, man, like my homie died. Like they don't know that,
Yeah, exactly. It goes both ways. They don't know about us, and we don't know about them. You learn so much about what happens in people's lives with these customers and why they come to see us.
Yeah.
And sometimes those are the people that are your good regulars that have the big smiles on every day are the people who go through some of the challenging things.
Yeah. No, and you could take one of those situations where this was this last weekend where this girl got really snotty because we were slammed, and I walk over to her and she's like, we've been waiting here for a while. And I was like, did you want to order, or did you want to tell me that you've been waiting a while? She's like, my husband's right over there. I was like, okay. So he went to the other side of the bar because that was where we were taking more orders. And then I did not want to help her out in any way. I was like, that's not how you approach it. But then I went over to the other side and it was like, dude's tatted up, like fucking looks like a G. And I'm like, okay, this is an opportunity to turn it around.
That right there, dude, the opportunity to flip him.
Yeah.
An angry customer is so real.
Because he was like stoic, like, and he was just like, let me get this. And I was just like, I'm so sorry, dude. I know you've been waiting a minute. Let me get that beer for you. And he was just like, shoulders went down. He's like, thanks, bro. And it was completely different.
Yeah.
And I hope he went over and told his wife. But then at that point, I was just getting daggers stared at me from her. But I was like, well, I tried to help.
Yeah, bro. That like turning an angry customer, bro. That's a thing, bro.
Yeah.
You gotta you can fight fire with fire, or you can fucking pour some ice out on that motherfucker, bro.
Yeah. Because I get it. You're waiting at a busy bar, but also, in my opinion, on your side, you see a place where there's, they're 3 deep and you expect 5-star service. That's your loss. That was your mistake.
The customer's always right versus chill the fuck out, man. And it's a wellness on the rocks. I gotta balance those out.
Yeah.
Well, bro, the audio is still rolling. The camera's down. Is there any last words that we can fucking throw into Reese, Carnita Snack Shack, Hasta Mañana. Yo, man, I really do appreciate you. This is a great conversation.
No, it was fun. Yeah, I didn't feel like a podcast other than the fact that I could hear myself.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, dude.